Kia ora whanos, Ifan here, trying to make great things happen, and my entrepreneurial adventure shines brighter because of you. Today, we have arrived to the 13th GONGZHEN.Reflections. So in the last 3 months, I've been slowly building blocks covering different areas of interest in my life and building blocks of different types of content, testing different methods to create content at the same time, testing different tools and ways to negotiate and interact with my potential audiences. And it was pretty good because most of the time I can handle all the workloads and I don't have to deal with a lot of people. So it was tiring, but it's not as stressful. But since the beginning of April, it's becoming chaotic because I deliberately wanted to explore more outside of my daily practices. So I was invited to different locations to attend different activities, basically becoming a lot more social than I used to be in the last 2 years. And because of that, I felt a sense of fatigue. To be honest, I'm tired. I don't quite like deal with people. But the point is, if I want to establish a business, I kind of have to go out and explore, right? Explore my surrounding, my neighborhood, going to talk to different people working in different fields, different business owner, and also the customers. I've met a lot of people. I've met people who runs the government facility, the track and field playground near where I live in the Nanhu district. And I've met a few bar owners, mostly music related. I've met some scientists and some business operators. And I also met a lot of consumers, hanging out with friends and explore different entertainment options. I've met a record store owner. I've met policemen, surprisingly, lawyers, and other people who are like me, who are trying to establish business in the cultural sectors, and also uni students, young people, live performer, and probably much more than that. It's a very different creative process, making contents in comparison to meeting people and trying to create something out of that conversation. And I've encountered a couple conflicts, quite a few conflicts. So I guess in this reflection, I will concentrate about energy and conflicts. I think it's great that I have a personality and I don't hide behind a fake personality, but it also causes problems. The real problem is, do I must interact with people? If I choose a different career development, I probably don't have to deal with people. So the conclusion is that I have to learn how to deal with a lot of people. And when you have a strong personality like me, you're going to have people like me, and you're going to have equal amount of people who hates me. I'm not too sure if I want to do this. I don't want to. So first thing first, speaking of conflicts, I guess the biggest problem has to be energy. I can't be bothered, man. Like, I really can't be bothered. Even though I know you need to deal with people as a businessman, I just can't be bothered. I don't want to mention history. I don't want to remember much shit time, but I kind of have to deal with it. So you see the difficulty here is how to manage my energy and at the same time be analytical about them so in the future I can avoid problems. Not every opportunity is a good opportunity. Not every crowd is a good crowd. I mean, you don't have to be social if you don't want to be social. Solidarity is great. I miss the time to be alone and just read books, and get inspired from the books that I read. I miss conversation without a goal, without an expectation of an outcome, which is quite rare now to have because everybody is looking for something, especially when they know that I'm starting a business, whether they want some investment or whether they want a creative partner. I'm just not used to this type of energy draining process of social life for an entrepreneur. I think I just want comfort, to be honest. I just want to chill. At the same time, I have this straightforward personality. I don't care what you do, man. If you disrespect me in a way that I cannot accept, then I'll have to show you. I have to inform you. I guess that's something to be considered. So The problem is pretty obvious, as you can see. I'm trying to come up with some sort of reflections for the experience that I have in terms of the conflicts that I have in this month. And I'm just getting too tired to even think about them and talk about them. So I think if there's anything useful for you, just learn how to ignore. I'm going to learn how to meditate. I guess I'll come back and see if I want to come back to the social exploration side of things. But clearly, I think I've learned from what has been happening during this month that I need to cut social life a little bit. I guess just to appreciate the people who appreciate me and appreciate the privilege that I'm having now. Well, this month I've done a lot. I was making a documentary about a record store. The record store is having problems about a conflict between the businessman who is operating the library, and they own the contract with Nanjing University, and the record store is sort of a section of, like an embedded section of the library. And it was just tiring to witness and to understand this whole thing. But I also think that it's not a waste of time, just by being part of this conflict. Fuck, again, it's conflicts, right? So yeah, just being part of this conflict, I feel, the world is a dark place. It's a strange place. It's all about money, or about how much money you can make. And I'm not making any money, so I guess if I go out and explore different options, then I would possibly ended up dealing with that sort of consequences. Yeah, the police, they came 4 to 5 times to the store trying to mediate the entire process, but that's not really their job. So the business owner of the record store is not having the ideal result at all. So the only way he can do is to sue the opposition, but then I guess that's too much for people who don't have much materials and social connections. Well, what can you do? So hopefully I can finish that documentary in, I don't know, a month, 2 months. I can't really tell. I have too much to do. I just want to say, protect your energy. Just protect your energy. Don't overreact, and don't do the things you don't like to do. Don't try to negotiate with negativity. Don't deal with the people you don't like. Don't deal with people who allow others to hurt you. Don't. This is a little bit too much, I guess. Yeah, I'm super tired. Yeah, mate, super tired, man. I'm just super tired, so. Kia ora whanau, it's Ifan here, trying to make great things happen. And my entrepreneurial adventure shines brighter because of you. So, as usual, we are picking up some time to reflect in the scenario of GONGZHEN. So, the month of April, here we go. GONGZHEN.Reflection number 13. It's a pretty unusual month, but I was doing everything based on my initial plan, which is to reach out to more people and test out more methods of content creation. I wanted it to be more participatory driven. I wanted to be more self-interest driven. Okay, so to sum it up, I'll say it's the month of meeting with people and conflicts. The month of conflicts, man. I did have some recruiting process going on since the end of last month, I would say. That involves meetings, that involves meeting new people and gathering people around and make sure that the people around me are happy so we can work together. And I get to meet some other business owners, and that led me into a documentary production. And during that process, there are involvements of the police and the other business owner, the consumer and the landlord, and all sorts. Of course, conflicts and negotiation is the constant theme across the entire documentary making process. And it's still unfinished. When it comes to things like this, conflicts becomes a much broader term. It's beyond, for example, me having a conflict with other person. It's also like the initiatives that I'm starting are having conflicts with each other, fighting for time and attention from my head. Speaking of people, man, I don't want to focus on any of the specific person now. I want to break down and concentrate more on the conflict side. So I divided the types of conflicts that I encountered in major categories. So the first category is people around me versus people around me. So it has nothing to do with me, but the people around me. Yeah, it's a tough one because I have no control over other people's opinion, but there are also technology and method I can use to sort of take control of the parts that I can take control of. But yeah, I don't like it. I don't like when people around me fighting each other. I guess people will feel the same, when I have a conflict, when I have a goal, the people around me probably feel the same. And the second type is me versus the others. I had a conflict with the police. I had a conflict with, people who have different opinion with me. And then, of course, beyond those two categories, you have the third one is me versus me. And I guess that's the biggest conflicts. I'm starting this project. I'm starting another project. I need to spend 10 hours to work on this project. I need to spend 20 hours to work on that project. But then I have this new project which needs another 30 hours. So how to deal with them? That's like 60 hours of work. I can finish it in a week, but because the fact that I'm meeting all sorts of people around different places, I won't be able to squeeze 60 hours just solely focusing on the productions. So what can I do? I'm creating trouble and another trouble and a third trouble, and I need to resolve them. So that's one aspect of the me versus me scenario. And there's another situation where I'm having this self-doubt about whether I should go with this direction. I'm having a self-doubt about the probability of success to do with the projects that's already undergone. I guess those three types of conflicts are our focus for GONGZHEN.Reflection number 13. The biggest thing is how to protect my energy from negativity. I mean, when you have a conflict, it's like the yin and yang, right? They interact and they transform, and then they just go like this forever. Where whichever direction they go, they go. So positivity and negativity are just very subjective terms when we encounter those type of transformation. But my responses to different phenomena and experiences are also authentic, right? So I felt that when there is a conflict that I don't want to deal with, the energy level is drained, so it's going down, and it passes to another experiences, and it passes down to other people for sure, and that's bad influence. So when I say negativity, it's the subjective terms of negativity that has everything to do with nobody else but myself. So how to avoid the unnecessary loss of energy from negativity? And from there, as I break down different series of events, I don't want to be specific at all. I don't want to point my fingers at specific people. I don't want to point my finger at specific events. I want to be abstract enough to have a centralized viewpoint to summarize. So the outcome is I narrow this bigger question down to a smaller question, which is how to manage anger and miscommunication. As long as we are working together to achieve something, right, we need to be able to manage anger. And we need to use all sorts of methods to reduce the probability of the occurrence of miscommunication. So everything should be delivered as precise and transparent as possible, as long as I am involved, because the major component of negativity coming out of meeting with people is miscommunication and anger. Okay, so, and speaking of me against me is really about project management, right? So I need to create a balance between attention seeking and solitary. So it is the solitary that really helped me to make sense of my priority of doing rather than attention seeking, because I don't need too much attention at the moment, because my focus is to practice and figure out my biggest interests and strengths. So yeah, that's the reflection. 2 outcomes. 1, I need to practice how to protect my energy from negativity, and from there we reach to the conclusion that I need to learn how to manage the problem of anger and miscommunication. And for speaking of the fact that I'm dealing with so many different creativities and types of content creation, I need to be able to balance attention-seeking aspect of my doing and the solitary aspect of my doing. If I can really dive into those areas, I'll become a much better entrepreneur. Okay, sweet ass, see you. This is GONGZHEN Reflection number 13. Bye.